For the record, lawns are the worst. They are wasteful of space, they're wasteful of water, and most importantly, they're a big waste of time. But what if there was a better way to cut your lawn? What if you could use adorable baby goslings as lawnmowers? Many have speculated about this, but in today's video, I'm going to try to use goslings as lawnmowers.
Good morning, little goslings! So yeah, our little tiny goslings are getting pretty darn big.
They have officially morphed into the stage where you can see them more as geese than the little fluff balls that they are when they first come out of an egg. There's our adult geese, you can see them. You're eating my jeans again, aren't you? This little one right here is always eating my jeans. I mean, just look at how big their feet have gotten.
Look at them, they're massive.
They're like almost adult goose feet.
And so because my goslings have gotten to be so large at this point, I actually have a job for them today. I don't know if you've noticed it around here, but the grass on the farm is starting to get kind of long.
I mean, can you look at it? Grass is getting pretty dang long. Abby, you want to look at all the long grass? It's exciting, isn't it? Knock it off. You're biting me. I don't like that.
Yeah, their little gosling nibbles stop being like little nibbles and actually pack a little bit of a punch. And so
we're gonna see if we can take these tiny little goslings and turn them into lawnmowers around the farm here.
This will either be incredible or this will be awful.
But either way, it will be.
All right, guys, I'll be right back. You wait here. You can see they're already hungry.
Which is actually what I want for this job, because I want them to really be looking for some nice green grass.
I'm gonna start things off pretty simply today. As you can see, I've already just taken some poultry netting and I've wrapped it around here. So they've got, you know, decent little size of area to work on here this morning.
If they do really good with it, I will let them work on more of it. If they do horribly, I will just put them back into their brooder area.
It's actually nice to be able to put them out here in this gosling daycare, because probably starting next week, I'm gonna let them free range around the farm by themselves. And so putting them out here will be nice practice. Won't it, Abby dog?
You know, at this point in the game, they're big enough that I don't have to worry about the barn cats attacking them. They are gonna have to start integrating themselves with the adult geese, but because they've been basically on display for the last couple of weeks in our brooder setup, they've already sort of had a semi-introduction. What you'll see is over the course of this summer,
our goslings here are gonna form their own flock, completely separated from the adults.
But as the summer goes on and we get into fall and winter, they usually sort of start to coalesce into one flock. But for right now, they stay very separate. But I will say with all of this, I'm kind of stalling right now and I should probably get to moving them. Hey, Abby, come on. We're gonna lock you up. Yeah, I don't want you wandering around while I'm trying to do the goslings. It'll just be one more bit of chaos. Come on, sweetie. In you go.
Good girl. All right, now to get them out to the grass, I'm gonna have to get them through here, down around here, around this corner and out that gate. The beauty of being a disorganized farm with lots of stuff strewn about is you have lots of things you can use to make barriers. Hopefully they don't go into there. I can get them go around here and I can just herd them. I will have to contend with the adult geese, but I'm not gonna try to get them out of here. Molly Murder Mittens, I think, is gonna be on her best behavior. Let me just do this to make sure nobody slips out when I have the gate open. Make sure the fence is all properly secured. Don't want anybody slipping underneath.
I don't expect the goslings to test the boundary too much. You know, since we're doing this during the day, I'm not too worried about a predator coming in. Plus we have the dogs on the other side of the fence.
Molly, did you just bounce into the... Oh no, Molly, you're trapped. Molly's very confused by the netting. This is not usually in place. She's very unhappy with that situation.
All right, little goslings, are you ready for this?
I'm not sure if I am. Let's give it a shot. Come on, let's go. Out you go, guys. I know, your first taste of freedom. Come on, come on. Whoop. Everybody stick together, please. I will have food and water for you. Please, no stopping. This is the adult food and water. Please, keep going. I know you're so excited about that green grass. Let's go. This mama goose is kind of confused. Come on. Now, adults, please don't bully the little ones. I'm taking them to daycare. Hey, you guys. You're just causing problems. I can see this. Yeah, I know. You don't like the new kids on the block. Well, here's a little surprise for you. They're actually your kids. Our little camera goose is maybe the bossiest of the geese. Yeah, I know. Green grass. It's exciting. Come on, you're gonna love this. Trust me. Hooray!
Hey, look at these little ones. They're so daggone happy. Parents are jealous, but they literally have a gigantic pasture of grass all along. You're doing so good here. I'm so proud of you.
You guys are adjusting remarkably well. They seem very, very content just to chew on grass.
So far this experiment's been a success. Let's go get them some water. Molly Murder Mittens remains very confused as to why she can't go where she wants to go. Hey Molly, you can get out now.
So it seems like our goslings are happily settled into their daycare.
We will let them do their thing for a little bit and we'll check back in with them. Hopefully by the end of this video, I'll show you how much progress and damage they made to
All this grass. I really do wonder, can you use goslings as lawnmowers?
rise and grind, weird chickens.
All right, Abby, you can get your freedom again. I just didn't want you to interrupt my experiment. Good girl. What do we do? What do we do when we come out? Yes, we sit. That's right. We're gonna let Abby check out our great gosling experiment. Having Abby out is actually one of the biggest concerns I have for when I start to free range the goslings here inside the farmyard. Even though she's spent a lot of time with them and like her yard is right next to their brooder pen, I do worry that she's still a little too interested and wants to play with them. Not a good thing, sweetie. All right, come on, let's go let out the ducks.
Release the Kraken!
So I put a lip on
to try to keep the eggs from falling out, but the eggs are still falling out. I tried to make it low enough so that it wouldn't prohibit the ducks from coming out in the morning. And even as you saw this morning, they were sort of going slower than usual. Still have eggs rolling out, so I think I gotta make it a little taller.
eggs for dogs, let's go. Here's the Abby portion, here's the Toby portion. You always eat your eggs so carefully, buddy. I'm proud of you. Abby, meanwhile, just scarfs.
I love her too. I just think it's so funny to see the difference in their mannerisms. So I was just about to go check on the cattle.
Suddenly a murder of crows just showed up. I don't know what's going on there. But there must be about 50 crows that just came out of nowhere while I was doing a couple things to get the ATV set up. Poor little goslings look very concerned. Abby's on high alert. Toby dog's on high alert. I wonder what that's all about. Abby, do you know what's going on here? No, Abby just seems a little confused.
That's not an eclipse, Nathaniel. Those are birds!
How are you doing, little ones? You enjoying some water time? That's good. Just don't waste it all, would you? Come on, Abby, we're gonna just do a quick check of the cattle.
That's kind of weird. I don't see any of my chickens.
Usually by this time in the morning, they'd all be out running around. What are they up to? Oh, there they are. Oh, you guys are hiding in the shade already today. I know it's gonna be a hot one, but geez, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 75 degrees right now, about 7:30 in the morning. And yeah, apparently they're already hiding in the shade.
Not wanting to go out. Well, it's okay, guys. That's why we have this thing. It provides you shelter and shade.
Speaking of shade, there's something I need to talk to you guys about. And I'm sure I'm gonna get a gigantic "I told you so" in the comments of this video.
Come on, Abby, let's go check out the cattle. Looks like the cattle already know what day it is. That's right, everybody. It's fresh pasture day. Oh, what happened? I know, Kurt. I was trying to refill your water. Somebody apparently knocked it out. How's everybody doing? You're hanging out in the shade already, huh? Glad to see you can be so casual there, Audrey. I know, the flies are getting something fierce.
Yeah, they keep beating up on my watering hose that it will turn intermittently on throughout the day. So I'm finding I have to keep checking it. This is not the long-term watering solution. I'm working on a couple of different options right now. So this is only temporary.
There we go. That's the flow we were looking for. Hey, little ones, how are you doing? So the cattle have successfully grazed down pretty much this entire alleyway. I'm gonna move them up to the next alley later today. Give them a little time to just work on the last remaining stubble here.
You know, it's funny, I actually set up a time-lapse camera yesterday just to see what it would look like when you take completely untouched pasture and put the cows on it for a day. Pretty cool. I mean, check it out. It's amazing to see what the impact that these animals can have on the land.
I mean, even look just down the hill, right? They started grazing their way all the way up. You can see this is what it looks like when it's completely ripped down. Last week's pasture is already starting to recover. The week before is already really recovered. Down in the bottom, you can barely even tell that they were there.
You know, it's funny, with the number of animals I have, I'm not even sure I'm gonna need to graze the upper pasture this year. I just keep them in here for the most part. They just seem to have a lot of good impact on the land. It's got me realizing that I probably just need more cattle. Of course, their impact on the land is good.
Their impact on other things, not so good. Yes, our happy cowmobile really took a hit yesterday.
I came out here yesterday morning to do my regular cattle chores, and this thing was turned over on its side.
From the impact of getting flipped, the top structure is completely banged up. But surprisingly, the base structure stays in very good shape, and I'm actually very happy with my construction on it.
This thing is sturdy and rigid. I know everybody was telling me in some of the comments that I should have welded something. Well, I'm not really a welder, and it just wasn't in the cards for me to do right now in terms of learning.
So the wooden base actually worked out well. The tipping factor was the issue. I don't think the tipping factor was so much about the weight up top. I mean, again, I have significantly more weight down here than I do up here, so I feel like it's distributed properly.
I think the real issue is me, sort of demonstrated here by me trying to put my camera down.
Like, we're on such a steep slope here on this hillside. I think all it took was just a little bit of pushing from this side. It toppled right over. It's partially why I actually have the brushes parked down on this side and only on this side, because I wanted to limit how much pushing they do on that side.
But the inevitability is they're gonna push as much as they want wherever they want. I've got to come up with a new way to secure it.
What I'm really thinking about doing is, and I sort of tested this out yesterday, kind of creating some anchors. What I'm thinking is like some ground stakes and a chain. And so every time I park it, I basically drop anchor. Like if I'm parked on a slope like this, even if they give it a good nudge, it'll stay roughly in place.
Again, I'm not so concerned about the impact of the animals. I'm not so concerned about how they can push it.
It's that I'm concerned that they might push it on a spot like here. Like I could see it easily tipping.
So when I clear the cattle out of this pasture later today, what I'm gonna do is take that down to the barn workshop and start to retool it a little bit. And so it'll be out of commission probably for a couple of days before we get it back out there.
But as you can see where the cattle are hanging out right now, they really do appreciate that shade. And so I wanna give them as much as possible. Abby, I'm so proud of you. You seem to have conquered your fear of the cattle area, and you're starting to behave around the cattle. So that's a really good sign there, girl. I know. Look at that sea of grass on the other side. Yeah, so Abby has figured out how the fence finally works. She doesn't think that cattle are demons anymore.
Or that there's like bad magic on this part of the farm. She realizes that she can't touch that white rope.
And if she can avoid the white rope, just like that, she's gonna be a-okay.
Pretty sure she figured all that out by watching Toby Dog.
All right, so it seems like everything's a-okay around here. I'll be moving you guys to some fresh pasture right up here in a little bit. So for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, I've been using this thick poly rope to contain my cattle.
When I first got them here, I was actually trying to use
this poly braid, which is much thinner, like just to do the side-by-side comparison, see? So poly rope, poly braid.
The reason I went with the rope was because they were breaking through the poly braid too easily. They weren't respecting it.
Now that I have the cattle fairly well trained to the fence up here, I'm gonna start trying to use the braid again. The advantage of the braid over the rope is I can get nearly 3 times as much material on one reel of the braid as I can the rope. And so that means I can actually go all the way across the permaculture orchard with one line of fence.
If you've been watching sort of how I've grazed this so far, you'll notice I seem to end about halfway up the permaculture orchard. So this will give me an advantage to actually give them more grazing space, and I'll actually have to do fewer large pasture moves like I have to do today.
You know, the daily pasture moves take me about 5 minutes to do and are no big deal. Setting up these, I don't know, it takes about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the size.
And so it's just a lot more work and labor. And so if I can save just a little bit of effort by just
simply changing the material on my fencing line,
I don't know, that seems like a win to me.
You know, I gotta admit, I just love seeing our cattle nurse their calves. Like, look at Anna Green Gables. She's such a good mom. It makes me so happy to see that. Filling up this water trough. I actually won't move their water trough. So for this next pasture move, probably what I'll do is just simply cut the line off so they can't go any further than here and just keep an alleyway to this water.
I'm finding if I move their water every 2 weeks, it's no big deal. That's what I'm starting to do. Becomes much more efficient, less work, and I save water, I don't waste it. You go see how our little goslings are doing?
Come on, Abby dog. Come on, Toby dog. Good girl. You love running out here in the pasture. I know that. It makes me happy to see you happy, girl.
The one habit Abby has gotten into is she likes to go swimming in the pond. You know, it's funny, Toby was never a pond swimmer.
Abby loves it. That water is disgusting. I don't know why you insist on doing that.
And yes, guys, I know my pond is looking like a failure yet again. I'm gonna have to do some work. try to make it all come together. A lot of people have said this over the years that I should divert part of the creek that runs over here, down here. I'm concerned about the impact it will have on the wetlands over there, which is why I don't do it. So I don't know. Part of me wonders, am I faced with a choice of just always having a semi-horrible duck pond or drastically changing the landscape? I don't like either option, to be honest, and so I keep looking for a third way. How are you doing there, little goslings?
Well, looks like you've done a little bit of work, but you got way more grass to graze, so we're gonna give you some more time. By the way, I don't know if you can see our little crooked mouth gosling here. He actually has a name. The name was given to him by the family that they will be going to, and that name is Hasami. I don't know if anybody knows this, but Hasami is actually the Japanese word for scissors, and so it felt very appropriate to the family that he's going to name him such, or name them such, I should say. Meanwhile, the rest of these little monsters are going to stay with us and continue to grow. Little Hasami over there probably is only going to be around for another week or two. Look at those adult feathers coming in. They're starting to come in. Your little wing feathers should be coming in pretty soon.
But yeah, they have a lot more work to do, so let's check back in at the end of the day to see how they did.
All right, so it's about, I don't know, 7:30 at night. See, the sun's kind of starting to set, and you can see all of our goslings running around. They've done a pretty good job of eating down the grass, especially right around here. But as I look over around here, not as good. One of the things I've often noticed with goslings is they do a good job with like 3 or 4 inch grass. But when it gets too tall, I think they're less effective. Maybe goslings don't work as lawnmowers, but they can help you keep your grass down if that's what you're hoping to do. And they are adorable. They do eat grass. I mean, I haven't fed these things anything today except for the grass, and they don't seem too hungry. So I don't know. I guess that's a win. But seeing as it's starting to get dark and cool down a little bit, I should probably begin the process of getting them back to their home for the evening. So come along, little ones. Come with me. All geese, go to bed. All geese, go to bed. Come on, guys. You got to go that way. Come on. Come on. Come on, little ones. You can do it. Good job, everybody. Did you guys have a nice day outside? Yeah, you want to go back to Gosling daycare tomorrow?